Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. I'm back, and I have a special treat for you all. Obviously you'll know because you've clicked on the video, but I said a while back that I was setting a goal. A lot of people had requested that I cover this song or piece, I'm not exactly sure, by DIMASH, The Story of One Sky, and I said I'll do it, but it's really long, and I kind of want to set just a goal, right? So when I hit a certain level, I'll do it. And I was gonna do it at 4,500 subscribers. Just hit that over the weekend. So here we go. We're doing The Story of One Sky today. Let's see, a few things before I start. Don't know what language it's gonna be in, so my interpretation of the lyrics may or may not even happen. I do have my coffee. I'm not an expert, right? I'm not a professional. I did choir. I can appreciate good vocals, but I'm probably not going to be getting too into the weeds because I'm not a vocal coach. So if you're looking for that, I'm confident, people who have done this, who are vocal coaches. And then finally, don't be a dick. I don't think that'll be a big issue with this one, but I just want it to be clear that I want happy, positive, polite things in the comments. I'm not trying to start fights. I'm not interested in starting fights. I just want it to be, a nice place to go. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. This is The Story of One Sky by DIMASH QUDAIBERGEN. Okay.
Believe what's happening at all. My pulse crazy, we want to fall. We are the reason we're causing all that pain. To the secret one that gives us life. Billions of hearts, billions of cells and souls and dreams, billions of lives shouldn't ever turn to senseless horror, so tears and blood.
As a ruler, might protect my country, but I don't deprive you of your freedom. The world is open for me, and I want to give it to you.
Just his can we burn us all that of your regret? Our future is impossible to say. So when all the ways and fires falling, we decide to stop the draining. We decide to follow their light. We are breaking
Only in the hearts of the strongest. You must be strong to accept freedom and bring it to the world. United, we will enter every city, every house. We will lead everyone who is ready to start a new life. Anyone who resists will not find a place next to us. War is the way to unite people.
learn to share again. Learn to share again their love, not share. To leap again. We have passed the moment of dimension. What did there be? We had to stand.
I'll let these final few seconds play out, but I think that's it. All right, so first of all, man, what a budget, huh? I mean, that video looks great, and it's super long. I mean, it's that's what half the length of a standard TV episode. So that's a lot of filming. That's a lot of extras, right? A lot of actors in that. A lot of effects and costumes and stuff. It's really well done. A lot of parallels, right? Lots of themes, some of which I was even able to pick up on. Right, you've got the death of the soldier at the same time as the birth of the baby, right? Death and life. You have all of the religious, I don't know if I'd say leaders, although some of them would have been, right? Would have been like community religious leaders. But you've got all of the various religious folks walking along. You got the guy holding the cross. You got the guy holding a book that I don't know what the book is. Maybe Zoroastrian. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't read the title. You have the Buddhist. I'm assuming there was a Muslim in there as well. And obviously, because of the part of the world where DIMASH is from, there are going to be other religions that I'm not necessarily going to recognize. Sort of smaller, more regional religions. You had the Jewish guy with the shofar, right? The rabbi. And it really does. Look, I'm not. I think I can say pretty confidently what this video is about, but because of the way because of the temperature of the times, I'm guessing they had to be maybe a little bit more discreet, right? The town name is German. It's not. It's Waldenberg, I believe, was what was on the sign. But for anybody who's been paying attention at all in the last nearly a year, Russia has invaded Ukraine and is doing their level best to kill as many Ukrainians as possible, and civilians, non-civilians, doesn't really matter. Military targets, non-military targets, doesn't really matter. And let me be clear, I'm not a pacifist. I believe that there are times when violence is required, when fighting is required, but I am in general very opposed to war. And war is bad enough for the people that are signed up, right? The people that decided they wanted to fight. Whether it's because they're fighting to protect their country, or because they want glory or money or land, or right? Because different times throughout history, being a soldier in Rome in the 1st century, 2nd century, when you won, you got land. It wasn't just money. You were given property. And so whether it's for conquest or, to fulfill your family legacy, right? Your dad was a soldier, your grandfather was a soldier, so you're a soldier. That's bad enough. It's bad enough for those people to go and die and get wounded and, suffer both physical and psychological trauma that doesn't go away. But it's worse for the civilians, for the people who, they're not interested in the war. They didn't sign up for it. Not just for the people who get bombed. That's, again, terrible, right? It's terrible for the civilian population that is being killed by shelling, by indiscriminate abuses by soldiers. But it's also bad for people who aren't involved in the war, people who aren't even close to the front lines, because it disrupts your entire life, right? Everything is about the war now. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what sort of thing, right? Remember when COVID happened and a bunch of people's like graduations and proms and senior nights and all that stuff got canceled? And these are small things, right? These are small momentary accomplishments, achievements, celebrations that people have been looking forward to. A lot of people since they were freshmen. That's a tragedy, right? It's not a huge tragedy. It's not at scale tragedy, but it's very meaningful. It's very important to the people who are affected by those things. Now imagine it's a war that's causing that stuff to stop happening, right? Your dance recital, your interview for admission to college, right? All that stuff might not happen. It might get put on the back burner. The person you were supposed to interview might die, right? The building you were supposed to be working in might get blown up. It's not just the physical effects that it has on people of you got shot or you got hit with shrapnel or something got in the water and it made you sick. It's also just the little stuff. It's the little things of life that you are no longer in control of. And so you have the refugees fleeing, right? That's very real. Hopefully they're fleeing to a country that will accept them. There's been a lot of issues with that in my part of the world, unfortunately. Nativist fears being stoked about migrants and refugees from crisis, from war. It's a bummer. We'll pick up the story a little bit. So those three kids, clearly, they were friends growing up. DIMASH I'm assuming it was DIMASH that got saved by the older boy, who then became let's be honest, let's call him a Putin stand-in, but could have been really any authoritarian military dictator. So he didn't get a redemption arc. He got that little thing. He was part of the club, the little piece of tin or whatever it was. I don't really recognize what that's supposed to be, that shape. Somebody let me know what that shape is supposed to be. It looks like a 4, kind of, to me. But he didn't get a redemption, right? He was the bad guy, and at the end of the story, he got gunned down, which, was good, right? We, in the audience, we're happy about that. But that is interesting. Usually in a story like this, you give the bad guy, right? He has an opportunity to recognize his wrongs, and then the lady having the child, and then DIMASH at the end as the Gandalf. I'm not entirely sure what we're supposed to take from that, right? Is he playing a separate character? Is it that his spirit as the soldier was reborn into this monk? I'm not exactly sure what that character is supposed to be. The guy with the hood at the end, obviously, is who I'm talking about. Or is it that, it's hard to say, right? Because I don't know. I'd have to look into the making of it and see what the conception is for all these characters. But I really liked it. It's really well done. I think my personal favorite part is when he's doing the vocalizations, around like the 7-minute, 8-minute mark. The minors and the ululating, that's really, really cool. All of the vocals are good, obviously. It's DIMASH. He's a great singer. But what stuck out to me particularly was that section where he's primarily just vocalizing. I thought that was really good. Also, I knew that little girl was going to get gunned down. I'm obviously they didn't show it, which is probably appropriate. But yeah, I mean, there's very few ways to show that your enemy is evil more clearly than like gunning down a little girl with a stuffed animal, right? So it's very clear who the bad guys are. But yeah, and then this little message at the end, right? It is true. There's a line in a Bloodywood song that says, "We've got 7 times as much money as we need to end poverty." We could put an end to a lot of conflict if we just realized that this is not the 1300s anymore. There's enough resources to go around, right? There's enough food, there's enough money, there's enough housing, there's enough medicine to go around. We don't have to fight over this stuff. The people who are making money off of it are at the top, and they're hoarding, right? They're the ones setting the prices, but there's enough for everybody. And there's no reason for us little people, right, to be fighting with each other. Look, I grew up super Christian, all right? And as a super Christian, I had some, I don't know that I was ever particularly hateful, but I definitely had some thoughts about Muslims that were incompatible, right? Muslims and Christians are incompatible. But I don't think that is true. I don't believe that's true. And there's no reason for us to fight both a religious war and a physical war. For one thing, because there's an awful lot of overlap. But this does go with the video, right? In the Bible, Jesus, who some people believe to be God, some people believe to be a prophet, not really important. Well, it is depending on who you are, but that's not my point. He says, be peacemakers. As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. I try to do that in my own life. Like I try to not start fights that I don't need to start. Sometimes there's a reason to fight. Sometimes it does not depend on you, right? Sometimes the decision gets made for you. But in my own life, I try, as a general rule, to live at peace with the people around me. That it doesn't matter what religion they are. It doesn't matter what gender they are. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation they are, what ethnic heritage they have. It doesn't matter. They're just people, right? People are people. They've got their own lives. They've got their own stuff going on. They've got their own thoughts and dreams and hopes, just like I have, just like anybody else has. And there's no reason to start with antagonism, right? Yeah, this is really good. It was pretty long, It is definitely more of a film than it is a song, right? The song is more the soundtrack to the film, more the score, I think. But it's a very pretty story. It's very well told. And I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I was never not doing this because I didn't want to. I just was trying to wait to tackle something this size until I reached a goal that I wanted to reach for my own self. So that's done. I met the subscriber number that I wanted, and now I got to watch this. So thank you guys for watching and for subscribing. For those of you who have, I appreciate that. Certainly, if you're interested in hearing more from me, you're welcome to subscribe to the channel now. I'm not set on being done at 4,500 subscribers. I'd be happy to have more if you guys want. I'm all about it. I think I'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there, especially if you are in a part of the world that's dealing with, let's say, armed conflict. Because, I mean, it's not just Ukraine. There are lots of parts of the world where shit is bad. Burma, Yemen, Syria, India right now, obviously Iran. Like, there's a lot of the world that is, people are dying every day from armed conflict. So, yeah, my thoughts are with all those people as much as they can be. Stay safe out there and be good to each other.